Tom, I never thought I would be discussing Kate Upton's Twitter rant with you, but we are because she was defending her boyfriend. But I said let's move that to the side here. Does she have a point in what she said about Justin Verlander not getting the Cy Young?
She does have a point. There's two different arguments here. First of all, Verlander wins the popular vote, loses the election. Where have we heard that one before?
Okay.
And second of all, let's put aside the two ballots in Tampa Bay that did not have him listed, because I'm assuming that those guys did not, they maybe were considering him at the bottom of their ballot, in the fourth or fifth spots. If they put him on their ballots in fourth or fifth, he still doesn't win.
Mm-hmm.
So what it came down to was the fact that the second place votes, Porcello had 18 of them and Justin only had 2 of them. Now, to me, he didn't get robbed only because I think Porcello, Verlander, Kluber, they're all worthy of winning. And I don't say that gratuitously. I really thought it was a coin flip if you have a 3-sided coin, and either one could have won. So it wasn't like he got robbed, but what it tells us, Dan, is when you look at the voting, really look at the voting, like politics, baseball writers' voting is really local, because you look at where the votes were coming for these guys, and it was within their own divisions.
Is the system, does it need to be revamped?
No, I don't think it needs to be revamped. We've gone to full transparency. Unlike the Hall of Fame voting, we know exactly who's voting and exactly what their ballots are, in this case 1 through 5. And we'll get it 1 through 10 in the MVP tonight. So I think there is transparency. That's all you could ask for. And I don't think it needs to be revamped. I think if you're looking to revamp it, one thing you may consider, and I've thought about this in my head, I'm not sure I've gone all this way, have more people vote. The baseball writers, we have just about everybody voting on the Hall of Fame, but it comes down to these seasonal awards, and you're talking about only 30 writers out of a few hundred who are voting on the awards. So you could expand it like the Heisman voting. They
got it right with Max Scherzer in the National League?
Yeah, I think so. I was surprised, though, that he won by as much as he did. The voters really love power pitching, and unfortunately it didn't work out for Justin, but the strikeouts, I thought, for Scherzer put him over the top. It's interesting that Kyle Hendricks got left off a couple of ballots himself, and nobody noticed that.
Yeah. MVP voting, what do you think? How's that play out?
Well, I think Bryant is going to win fairly easily. I'd be shocked. That would be a big upset if Murphy or Seager won the National League. American League vote, to me, is fascinating, Dan. It gets back to the old argument about can you be valuable on a team that basically didn't play meaningful games the whole year. Of course, that's Mike Trout and the Angels. I think you certainly can when you're as good as Mike Trout, when you're that far much better than the field, and he was this year. But I have a feeling the voters will still put a value on guys who play for postseason teams, and that points the dial to Mookie Betts. Now, look at his lineup, man. He had a lot of help in that lineup. You can make a case for David Ortiz as an MVP, and Pedroia had a great year, and Hanley Ramirez on and on and on. I'm not taking anything away from Mookie, but there's no help there from Mike Trout. Mike Trout is the best player in baseball. I think we all know that. I think he had a year that proved it. I don't think he's going to win. If I had a vote on that one, Ben, I'd probably give it to Mike Trout because I think he was that much better than everybody else. But based on voting history, I would lean towards Betts actually winning it.
I don't know if you saw this story. Sweeney Murdy, who covers the Yankees for WFAN in New York, said a baseball scout told him that the Yankees are trying to get enough pieces together to make a deal, go after Mike Trout. What do you make of that?
There's some truth to that, some legitimacy to that. Start with this. It would have been impossible for the Yankees 12 months ago to even think about that, but they really have restocked their system and done a really good job of trades with Chapman and Miller and some of the other guys they moved. And they're talking about prospects now who are at Major League ready or close, not just lottery tickets down an A-ball. So I think they would have the wherewithal to have something that's tempting to the Angels. And Brian Cashman's old assistant, Billy Epler, is out there running the Angels. But I don't see the Angels trading Mike Trout. I really don't. He's everything you want in a franchise player. The minute you trade him, the minute you're hoping someone else can get even close to him. I think he's the most valuable commodity in baseball. And I know they've got a long way to go before they turn things around, but they're going nowhere without Mike Trout.
I just don't think you could go into the history books as the guy who traded Mike Trout.
Agree with that. I mean, even if you quote unquote win the deal, the win's not going to show up for years.
Yeah.
I think when I look at the Yankees, Dan, I think they're more gearing up to making a run at Bryce Harper on the free agent market. You know, as they start to infiltrate the younger guys in the lineup, they'll have cost savings. It's more money coming off the books after this year. I think this is sort of where the Cubs were a couple of years ago, where it's probably not 2017 where they really contend. It's probably 2018. And then after that, they'll have a lot of money to go after Bryce Harper.
Will the Cubs look the same next season?
Not really. To me, Dexter Fowler is the key. I think he's going to have a really good market. May not be back, which may have to slide Jason Hayward into center. Maybe Albert Almora plays there. We know Hamill's gone. Mike Montgomery is going to go in the rotation. Listen, the average Major League team turns over 30% every year. So you're not going to bring the entire roster back even after going to the World Series. But in terms of their core, Dan, yeah. I mean, I think they have a possibility to be what the Yankees were in the late 90s. I'm not saying they're going to run off, 3 in a row in terms of world championships. But playing for World Series titles, yeah, they should be playing for multiples in the next 4 or 5 years.
Thank you, Tom. I'll let you know when I get something from Kate Upton again that we can discuss.
Please, let me know.
All right. That's Tom Verducci, senior baseball writer at Sports Illustrated.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.